Scott Galloway is an entrepreneur, podcaster, NYU Stern marketing professor, and best-selling author of books like The Algebra of Wealth. And he's joining the Hot Topics table to tell us why he thinks this tariff plan just doesn't add up, and so many other stuff. We always have great questions for him. Please welcome the fabulous Scott Galloway. Hey! So, you know who has just wreaked havoc on the global economy since his so-called Liberation Day last week with massive tariffs. He mostly walked back the other day. What is going on? Do you have any, can you see anything that you can help us see that will explain what the hell he's doing?
It would be hard to think of a more elegant way to reduce prosperity this fast. Let's talk about Apple. The notion was we were going to bring back all those great jobs. The average Apple assembly person in China makes $500 a month. The average Apple employee focusing on more high-value things like design, store management, makes $200,000 a year here. We want to wear Nikes. We don't want to make them. We have outsourced low-wage jobs overseas such that we can create more profits, more investments, and create higher-wage jobs. If these tariffs hold, your iPhone's going to go from $1,000 to $2,300. To make an iPhone in the U.S., it would cost $3,500. As a result, the threats of these tariffs take Apple stock down the value of Walmart in 3 days. If these tariffs hold, 80% of toys under the Christmas tree are from China. So 90% of U.S. households are budget constrained. So we're talking about half the number of toys. We're talking about a destruction in shareholder value such that your parents can't retire as quickly. And we're talking about the entire world rerouting their supply chain around brand America, which quite frankly right now is toxic uncertainty, so they can bypass a series of unpredictable, epileptic, sclerotic decisions where we finally need to acknowledge we have someone at the wheel of the global economy that is blackout drunk right now.
Yeah, and he doesn't drink.
Well, when you put it that way, Scott, so I think President Trump's rough explanation of what he's doing is we need to, be less dependent on trade with China. We need to bring manufacturing back and reindustrialization back to the United States. But you talk a lot about the future economy, the rise of AI, what this country is going to look like and what the jobs of the future are. Does this trade war make sense for the economy of the future, or is he envisioning some kind of 1950s past that no longer exists?
First off, America is the second largest manufacturer in the world. And the Cato Institute, we romanticize manufacturing. The Cato Institute did a survey. 80% of us believe that we should have more manufacturing, but only 20% of us want to work in manufacturing. There is no line to get in and have work at an assembly plant in Lansing, Michigan. What we want is high-paying jobs. Quite frankly, if this president cared about young men and trying to up-level people, we'd go to a minimum wage of $25 an hour. And by the way, if minimum wage had kept pace with productivity and inflation, it'd be somewhere between 23 and 27 bucks an hour. This is nothing, but in my view, do you realize yesterday, about 10 minutes before he took the trade, he put a pause on the tariffs and Apple skyrocketed and the market went up 2,000 points. There was huge activity in the options market. Yesterday will go down as the greatest day of insider trading in grift in history.
Yes, that's right.
Taking us...
Wow.
Folks, someone knew what was going on and made a lot of money, and it wasn't us. And we're going to find out about this. If you want to go back, he talks about the great era of the late 19th century. Guess what? Where we didn't have indoor plumbing, where we had child labor. I'll take Netflix and Novocaine. This is... We have a habit because of social media to talk about how terrible America is. There are 159 nations. They would all trade places with us. Do we have income inequality? We have polarization. Do we have struggling young people? 100%. But guess what? This nation is less bad than any other nation, except if you want to take us back to the past. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
You were just talking about America and the toxicity, the brand toxicity. The people who support Trump, they like to say that he plays fourth-dimensional chess. But tell us, where do you think America's image is right now around the world?
We have the greatest inflow of capital, which drives our stocks up, which lets us borrow money at a lower cost. We have the greatest inflow of human capital. What do the best and brightest in the world have in common? They want to come to our universities. They want to live in America. right now, and part of that is that the American brand is risk aggressiveness. It's rule of law. It's consistency. Rule of law has gone out the window.
Right.
Right? We've now decided to defy court orders. We're having used car sales on the White House lawn. Yeah. We are rounding people up with the wrong tattoo and shipping them off without due process to essentially hellscape prisons. Rule of law is gone. Consistency? The tariffs are on. They're off. The tariffs are on. The tariffs are off. We're alienating nations that love us and we love. When did we decide to go to war against Canada?
I don't know.
Canada? You know what Canada did? There's this great line that the Holocaust survivor talking to Warren Buffett said, "How do you judge friends?" And she said, very simply, I ask a question, would they hide me? Canadians hid us.
Yeah.
They did.
In the hostage crisis, the Canadian embassy hid 6 Americans. And if they'd been found out, they would have been hung by cranes. We're going to war against Canada. They are true friends. We can't even articulate while we're angry at them. We are going to war with everyone at the same time. The big winner here, if there is a winner, is China over the medium and long term, who says, you may not like us, but you can count on us. The damage here, when he paused the tariffs yesterday, he took the knife halfway out of the economy's back, but the injury will take years, if not decades, to heal. The definition of stupid is doing something that hurts yourself while hurting others. This could not be more stupid.
I love when you come here. I love it.